This is Glitter Bomb TV with your host, Celso Dulé. We reveal those who elevate, inspire, and titillate the LGBTQ community. Are you glitter worthy? What do you get when you mix Ukrainian dancing and a book about the gay male escort business? Well, Christopher Daniels, of course. He's here on Glitter Bomb to talk about all things Christopher Daniels and his new book. Hi, Christopher.
Good morning.
Good morning. No one knows if it's morning or night.
I know.
So, Hookie of the Year. Yeah?
Yes.
Does
Mr.
that come with a
International.
crown or a rhinestone cock ring? Or?
No, it came with a plaque and a sash.
Oh, the sash.
Yeah.
Oh, too bad you didn't bring the sash.
I know. I didn't even know what happened to the sash.
Seriously?
Well, the event was around a very crazy weekend, and it was like 1 or 2 in the morning, and Sharon Needles announced the winner. I got my trophy. She's like, and good night. And she walked off the stage with the mic, so I was just like, thanks.
Well, explain to everybody what that means. So it's the Hookie Awards.
It's a show organized by rentboy.com, which is, the world's largest escort website. Mm-hmm. And it's called the Mr. International Escort of, whatever year, and that's the title that we're running for.
And you had to win San Francisco first. It's
I
like,
did,
it's
yeah.
like a pageant.
It's a hooker pageant queen, basically.
That's awesome.
Hooker pageant.
I love that.
Yeah.
You're also a porn star. Mm-hmm. Is it really common for porn stars to also do escorting?
It's very common. There's everyone's reasons for getting into porn is different. And, a lot of guys go into porn to make money. And it is possible to make money doing porn, but you'll find after a while you cannot pay your bills solely on porn. Even if you're kind of at the top of the top of the ladder as far as porn stars, you have to do other stuff to supplement your income.
You're dashing a lot of people's dreams here.
I'm sorry to bring it down.
That college funds.
Yeah, right.
You're gonna have to start also, escorting.
That's true. Well, I know a lot of porn stars escorts that have paid off their student loans by doing it.
Yeah.
So, but what people don't realize about porn is it's a very sterile environment. It's not, there's not always like a really great sexual chemistry. It's not, this like huge big sex parties with like lines of coke on the coffee table. It's just,
Right.
It's there. It's a job, and
That's how it would be on my set.
Right, exactly.
It'd be glitter.
Glitter.
But
I love it.
I know, because people always want to go, I would love to be on, go see a taping of it, and they don't realize it's like all day.
25% of the time, it's awful and kind of a nightmare. I would say 50% of the time, it's just kind of work, and then 25% of the time, it's amazing, it's hot, it's great chemistry, and it's like fun, So I've had a lot of great experiences. There's a few that stick out, and probably one that sticks out is last April I shot for Naked Sword with Mr. Pam, and it was with Raphael Alencar, and to me he seemed very intimidating, and I was just not sure what to expect.
Really? Why?
Because he had an 11-inch dick.
It's nothing.
Well, I was just like, I don't know how this is going to go over. But so I went into it just a little nervous, but I had worked with Mr. Pam, so I was comfortable with her, and but the whole experience was a lot of fun. Raphael is very, very sensual, and he's a very sexual person, and is professional enough that he just kind of like took me and threw me around the bed and just like switched it up and just like was like bending me, and it was fun, and his penis hit all the right spots, so it was a good experience.
Nice. If they don't already know this, everyone's dying to know.
Yeah.
What's your preference? Do you consider yourself a top or a bottom?
I've always been versatile, but
That's what everybody says.
I know. Well, I feel like I really am, because I just started getting cast in porn to be a bottom with some pretty big names.
Why do you think that you were cast as a bottom?
I have a personal theory that I sort of have always been cast as the model to be paired with the big star.
Yeah.
And the big star a lot of the times is the power top and is the one that's just like, he's the god.
Uh-huh.
And I felt like I was kind of cast as the model that would get to be, that's the bottom in the scene, which isn't a bad thing, but I wasn't featured as like the star. I was the model that got to have sex with the big star. But I felt like I enjoy bottoming. It's not something I don't like doing, mm-hmm. and it seemed to take off, and I just kind of, that's kind of how I got what people identified me as was a bottom. The same thing with escorting. People just kind of started seeing me as a strict bottom. And I was like, well, if that's what's going to work, if that's what's going to, book me the jobs, then I guess I'll go with it.
It might be that beautiful ass that you've got.
Well, that's okay too. So, it worked. It took off. But in my own personal life, as far as like casual sex and hookups and stuff like that, I turn more into a top, because I'm like, this isn't a relationship and you're not going to pay me, then I'm the top. So forget about it.
Well, that's very good information. Do you feel like you're still going back to how you get cast?
Mm-hmm.
Are you still cast in the same way, do you think? Or have you developed enough of a brand that you're...
A little bit. I
Yeah.
still think that I'm getting cast in those roles, and it's not a bad thing because I'm still working consistently, like I said.
Right.
And I'm working with great studios, with great scene partners. I've had very few instances with bad scene partners. I feel very fortunate. I hear some of these nightmare stories from other models.
Let's segue into that, because that's
God.
in there somewhere. But let's
Okay.
go to it now since we're here.
Okay.
So let's a nightmare story, right?
Well, okay. When I first started working, I'm not sure if this is a good or a bad thing, but I started working in porn with some really great studios. And not to say the other ones are bad, but I started working with like Falcon, Titan, a couple other big name studios. And the way it's ran with those studios and a lot of other ones is a very certain and specific way. And like Titan sent out their handbook or whatever that you have to read through. And one of the things they suggest is try not to talk to the other model that you're working with before or during the shoot as much. Kind of keep distance and kind of keep an element of like mystery there. And at first I was like, you don't want us to talk to each other? Like, why? You kind of want to get to know the person. But then you realize after a while sometimes it's a good thing because you may not want to talk to them because you might find out things that is a huge turnoff.
Like what kind of things?
Like they're a Republican, or that they're crazy, or that
I love it. That's the next movie. Gay porn Republican.
Right. I had one that was trying to convert me to a pyramid scheme.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes, tell us about that one.
Oh, God, it was awful. He was drawing diagrams, everything between scenes, and I was just like, I got to walk away from this guy because he's nuts. I think sometimes the less you know, the better. A lot of models, like, they want to, you talk and get to know, and they're like, hey, girl, and they're just like, gossiping about what happened on the weekend, and for me, that's just, it does not help. I like just silence. I like to get in my, the frame of mind that I need to be in to shoot, and
Right.
I just prefer a more quiet, controlled environment. And
Like
that
J-Lo.
helps.
You should go around with your own little trailer of all white and candles.
Right, yeah. Serenity.
Put that
and,
into your next contract.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure they'll all go for that. So I always try to treat a scene and a scene partner like a one-night stand. You don't want to know their life story. You really don't. You just want to get to the sex.
Right.
Yeah. Keep that element of mystery and silence.
So on the flip side of that, though,
Yeah.
have you gotten a crush on anybody? Have you met somebody that you're like, oh?
I think some people, that does happen a lot, and I think with dating in the porn industry, the boyfriend of the porn star sort of thinks that's going to happen, and I know it's happened to some people. I've thought about that, like, what if I fall in love with my scene partner? And honestly, I find when you go there and do what you came to do, and the scene is over, my main goal is to just like take a shower, get dressed, get my paycheck, go back to my hotel, and just like watch bad TV and eat ice cream and take out like.
You don't eat ice cream.
I do. Well, when the scene's over, yeah, you just want to eat like have a fat girl night and just like wear sweatpants and let it
No
all
one
hang
ever
out.
thought that Christopher Daniels had a fat girl night.
Oh yeah, totally. When the scene's over, you don't want to do anything, and like love and a relationship is the last thing on my mind. I have met some scene partners that I've had really good chemistry with, and there's a special bond there.
Uh-huh.
You see them again, and you'll always have that. But for me, it's never turned into anything more. And to be honest, I don't think I could ever date a porn star. So, I'm exhausted enough dealing with myself. I can't imagine dealing with this, my partner being the same way. So,
Any mentors in the industry, people that you've worked with that you look up to that?
I've had a few. Steve Cruz and Bruno Bond, they're a couple. They both used to be in porn. Now they direct content for Falcon and Raging Stallion. Brian Mills, Paul Wilde. A lot of the people over at Titan, I have a lot of respect for. I really like their work. Shishi LaRue and I, we've become pretty close over the past year and a half, and I look up to her a lot, and I really value our time together. We have, we talk about industry stuff, but we talk about, other things going on in our lives, and so she has a really special place in my heart. There's others like, Mr. Pam, Sister Roma, and every time I go to an event and I see them, it's like kind of seeing family. So a lot of the people that are involved with directing and stuff who have been porn stars themselves are good to talk to because they can kind of give you insight and feedback when you're going through stuff.
Mm-hmm. How do you think, though, the porn affects the community? Does it have an influence on identity, sexuality, that kind of thing? Is it positive? Is it negative?
I think it's both. I know for myself growing up and not having anything that I could relate to as far as, two men being together and anything sexual, or just intimate, even when I see gay content on TV, you don't really see the men interacting in a way that you get to see straight people. So when finding my first gay porn or first images of male intimacy was very important, and for you and me, we live in places, cities where we see it everywhere. We have access to it, it's not a big deal, but there's still so many parts of the world where they don't have access to that, and gay porn is that one escape where they can see that and they can find images that they can, relate to and get off to and, escape to that world. So I think that's very important. I also think that it's hard because we're putting up these unrealistic expectations on everyone. And the same thing with with females, straight females, their images of beauty are these skinny anorexic models, and really, how realistic is that? It's not. And it's the same thing in the gay community. They are showing you images of what's attractive and what's masculine, what's hot and what's beautiful, and the chances of most men actually achieving that is slim to none.
Or meeting that.
Right. And believe me, even when you meet it, you're still not happy. It's never ending. It really is. So I think it's important, but at the same time, it can be negative.
Other than your talents, your obvious talents that we all already know, you are also now an author.
Yes.
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 It's titled
Money's on the Dresser.
Money's on the Dresser.
Money's on the Dresser. And it's a collection of short stories that I began writing after I started escorting. I just started having experiences that were kind of crazy, and I would tell some of my close friends about it. Everyone's like, oh, you should write a book. You should write a book. And that's something kind of everyone says, and I really do believe everyone has a book inside them. I started traveling a lot with porn and having a lot of free time on my hands in airports, hotel rooms, and I'm going to start writing about it. It's been really challenging because I'm sharing some really intimate parts of my past and stuff that's happened in my childhood and growing up, and in these experiences that I talk about with porn and escorting and with other people, and having to go back and reread it and reread it and reread it and edit it and tweak it and change it, and I'm just and then having people tell you, well, you should really move this here and then change that and add that there, and I'm just I don't even know what I'm writing anymore. This isn't my story.
I have an or
Okay.
possible, what's the either better or some. Okay, I'll just ask the question.
Okay.
Ukrainian dancing.
Oh my
Is
God.
it better than cheerleading, or do you like them both the same?
God, you're horrible.
Show us some. No.
My jeans are too tight. They're both amazing.
They're both amazing. Okay, so people who don't know, I didn't when I first found this out, what is Ukrainian dancing?
Do you know what curling is? The Olympic
Yes.
sport? Yeah, curling and Ukrainian dancing. Those are the two biggest things of where
So
I come
you're like,
from.
I'll take this one.
I'll take the dancing.
I'll take B for yeah.
It was very big in my community. I'm not even Ukrainian, and a lot of us that did Ukrainian dancing were not Ukrainian, but it was a huge thing in the community I grew up in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you wind up in a Ukrainian dance studio.
Sure. God, yes. And I started with doing stuff like Ukrainian dancing, and then it led into other things, tap, jazz, ballet, and all that. And it just kind of took off. And I always found that it was a way that I liked expressing myself. And watching dance to me is it's very moving. It's something about it that's very beautiful. So, and I've always kind of felt that my whole life, even watching dancing as a kid growing up. So it's something I wanted to take part in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And cheerleading?
Cheerleading.
Which I think that's so awesome. I went to high school and there was one male cheerleader in our high school, and I just thought that was the most awesome, amazing thing.
Yeah, well, it's like an
I just wanna
Olympic
be a
sport now.
cheerleader.
It's crazy, and I did it at a very young age, but
Which is impressive also.
Yeah.
Because, it's not, you probably got a lot of flack for that.
oh, totally,
Yeah.
I totally did. And when I did it, it was not just cheerleading. It was like a drill team. There was a lot of dancing, but there was also, a lot of the lifts and a lot of the acrobats and stuff like that.
Right.
So I did it, spent about 2 years getting flack for it, and I was like, I'm never doing that shit again. This is gonna follow me until the day I die.
And it
apparently
has. So we were asking people, you know how Barbara Walters on her show will ask people, if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? So
God,
we've changed it up
a
just
boring question.
slightly.
Okay, good.
If you were a Disney princess,
Oh,
which
okay.
Disney princess would you be?
Disney princess. I'm so not good with Disney. Disney gays kind of scare me a little bit, but I'm trying to think on my Disney knowledge.
You mean gays that really know their Disney?
Yeah, they really scare me. Or the gays that have their Grindr pictures at Disneyland
As Disney characters?
and Disney characters, that really freaks me out.
That's like furries to me. Or,
Oh, really?
yeah.
I don't mind the furry scene. I think that's
That's
kind
a
of
lot
fun.
of, that's like Easter Bunny when I was a kid. It's just a little
love it,
too
actually.
much fur. I didn't mind Santa though.
I'm not sure if Ariel from The Little Mermaid is a Disney princess.
Yes,
Okay,
of course.
so I would say
sure.
Ariel.
There's
'cause-
Ariel, so do you need a rundown? Not like I'm a professional on Disney princesses.
Right.
But
Sure.
let's see, we've got Cinderella, Snow White, Little Ariel.
Yeah.
There's the one from Aladdin.
Jasmine.
Jasmine.
Yeah.
See, you know them better.
Well,
Mulan.
Yeah. Pocahontas, I guess.
Pocahontas, for sure.
I liked Ariel because of the way she flipped her hair when she got out of the water.
I know, pretty good, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of drag queens try to work that, and it's difficult, but Ariel really had it down.
Yeah, it's the right hairspray. It's
Yeah.
all about product.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, we asked your friends, and of course, well, not of course, but they all said, he's not a Disney princess, he's Prince Charming.
Okay, sure.
So I think I'm fine to stick with that.
Okay, I like that.
This is how I'd like to end it. So apparently, we talked with a very good friend of yours from a long, long, long time ago. And apparently when you were younger, you guys used to, for some reason, and she can't even remember why, you used to speak in code.
Okay.
And you said, the jar is full of jam,
Okay.
which for everybody out there means code for, I love you, which is just adorable.
Okay.
So I want a code word for you and me, so we can
Okay.
remember this moment, and only you and I will know. Nobody else out there will know.
Well, I was gonna say Ukrainian dancing, but I think that might make me want to choke you.
I'm gonna learn some moves. We're gonna go out and go dancing, and I'm gonna break out some. I don't even know how to do it.
YouTube it. I'm sure it's on.
Well, we gotta come up with one. Glass full of champagne,
Yes.
jar full of glitter.
Jar full of glitter. That works. I like that.
All right, jar full of glitter.
There we go. Cheers.
All right.
Perfect.
Thanks, Christopher.
Thank you.